I don't know much about the Boston Celtics coach, Joe Mazzulla, but here recently, I've listened to a few of his interviews, just short clips, and I've read different comments and articles written about him. And apparently, his faith is major to him. His Christian faith is his foundation. And I'm a San Antonio Spurs fan, but our team is down in the dumps, at the moment. We've been down in the dumps for several years now, but hey, every dog has its day, right? We have multiple championships, but that's neither here nor there. That's not what this video is about. But this is about Joe Mazzulla and his faith in a recent interview that he had with NBC Sports. So without further ado, let's dive into it.
I like to get to the arena at like noon. I like to do a prayer walk around the court at the garden. I like to be in the garden when there's not a lot of people there, just because it's the garden. So I get there around 11:30, 12. I'll do like a 20-minute walk around the court and just kind of take in how cold it is. I love that. The smell of it, just the banners, obviously, taking all that in. I've always said, like, I have an unhealthy relationship with competition. I think this year and a half I've grown to figure out, like, competitiveness isn't just like wanting to win really, really bad. It's having an understanding of what the environment needs and giving that, and then being ready to be flexible in the next thing. What's up? Looks a lot different, huh? Yeah, it was like the pickup place. So, my dad had a key, so anytime I wanted to come, and I remember from like 12 years on, all the way up until college, I would come and play pickup with like all the police officers, my uncles, and that's where I learned, how not to make excuses, toughness, and they didn't take it easy on me. I probably wouldn't have gotten into basketball if it wasn't for this gym. Memory after memory, and it all kind of starts here for me.
What was your dad's involvement with this place?
So he was the recreation director at the time, so he ran a lot of the leagues, he reffed. He would ref and coach the guys at the same time and try to fight them at the same time. Me and him would come here for hours, and I just wouldn't be allowed to leave until I was done working out. And then at the end, we would play one-on-one in the paint, me versus him, and there was no rules. And so we would just play until someone was dead, bleeding, and it was just like, you're gonna learn how to just get through stuff. And so that was the end of our workout, just one-on-one in the paint, check ball. I think that's the interesting thing I probably haven't talked a lot about last season, was I think it took 4 years to grieve his death, because of last season was just one of the biggest challenges that I've went through in life without him.
Hey, we can't take our foot off the gas right now. We still gotta play. Stay in the fight.
And so by the time the playoffs came, I was really grieving him. And what's funny is Game 7 of Miami was his birthday. And so that was like an interesting moment. And so it took like 4 years to actually slow down and actually see it, because I think life just happened so fast. We had the bubble, we had the pandemic, things were going on. So I didn't really have time to be able to go through it, so to speak.
Do you feel like you've reached the point where the grieving is behind you?
No, I feel like that it was really the playoff series was because that was the biggest challenge I've had since he wasn't there. And so that was a whole process of just growth, in general. Growth as a person, growth as a coach, growth as a family. Like I said before, our marriage got closer, so that 2 months, however long it was the 2 months of I give the most credit to my growth in a long time,
How do you think he would have reacted when you became head coach?
He would have been very emotional about it, for sure. Yeah. But then, in a playoff series, when I called him and said, we lost, he would have told me to shut the up and figure it out. To me, the things that I want to pass on to my kids are faith, mindset, competitive nature. It's not that things are going to go your way. It's not money. But if I could give them faith, if I could give them a competitive mindset, if I can give them the mindset and the ability to, be able to go through life and handle things when they don't go your way, I think that is that's a legacy. That's more long lasting, and that's what my dad really worked to give my family. And I think that's kind of what my goal is. And it's the same in the gym, like you go to the facility, like, can you create something long lasting?
1 point game, 1 minute to go, green ball. Yes, out! Yes, out! We should all be going to a high five out, just potentially won the game.
You know, the Celtics were here before me, they'll be here when I'm done. But in that space, can you leave something there that's, you know, obviously a banner is the number one thing, but even that banner represents all the stuff that you put into it, you know, and like, can we leave something like that?
We're all competitive, you know, to a certain extent. And I know in my past, and even now, I struggle at times with, you know, the wins and losses. My kids are in sports and soccer and basketball, and of course, it's not on the same level as an NBA team. But, you know, as a father, you definitely want to see your kids win, not just in sports, but in school and in life in general. And he made a great point. You know, we get caught up in the wins, the losses, and the stats. But he didn't say this specifically, but as I react to his short interview here, what do you think if we were to get caught up more in the stats and the percentages of how many people have given their lives to Christ? How many people love unconditionally? If we were to tally up the amount of people who truly have an authentic walk with Jesus Christ, not a perfect walk, because no one is perfect, and that's the reason why Jesus died for our sins. But if we were to tally up how many souls are going to hell, how many people are being deceived because of the schemes of the enemy, how many people, when you truly think about or are thinking about heaven and have an eternal mindset, those are the wins and losses that we truly should be concerned about, and not the wins and losses on the basketball court or the soccer pitch or the football field, because all of that will pass away, because this world was not created for us to live in it for eternity. We were created in God's image to live with him in heaven for eternity. Or unfortunately, for the people who reject him, because the great thing about God is that we all have free will. He's not a dictator. He's not going to force you to follow him. But for those who reject him, will be in hell for eternity. And that's the choice that you make for yourself. So let me know what you guys think of this. You know, again, the grieving process is huge, and we all need to rely on God. Let me know in the comments what things you have to grieve through. Are you a Celtics fan? Do you know who Joe Mazzulla is? Have you heard of him? Praise be to God that we have positive examples like this who are on a huge platform that give God the glory. Again, thank you for your support. Always strive to remain set apart. Take care.